Hey everybody, I'm going to show you the fastest method I've come up with of, and the most reliable, of germinating chilies and peppers. And this is kind of all you need though, so this is the setup. What I use is a tea mixture, so there's 3 tea bags in there. Yorkshire tea bags, which are probably the best tea bags to use, but there again I am biased. So I've even made cups of tea with these before I put them in this cup, so I've just saved them yesterday, put them in the cup. Left them in there overnight to extract as much of the tea as I can. The reason I do this, or the reason people do this, is because the tea is actually a weak acid, so it kind of mimics the seed going through the stomach of a bird, you know, and it breaks down the shell or the husk a little tiny bit, and it helps the seed to germinate, to split out through it. So we've got 3 tea bags in there. I am just going to squash the tea out of these bags and then dispose of these bags. Before you start, wash these out. Even put some mild bleach or peroxide in, just give them a really good wash out so there's no fungus or bacteria in them. And what you need to do is get some kitchen roll. So you get your kitchen roll, you put that in there. Right, I'm just going to do one of these. I'll just show you one of them and you can figure out the rest, can't you? Now what you want to do is put half of your liquid in there. I'm putting half in that other one as well. You want it so that you're really soaking your kitchen roll, and that will do, like that. What you want to do is just pour some of that excess off, so you've literally just got enough tea in there to saturate the peppers. And you put your sticks in, or the divisions. If you're only growing one kind of pepper, obviously you won't need these divisions. Put that there. Right, so I'll start off with these very hot, tiny little peppers, and I want to grow about 3 of these. So I've just got a few of the seeds here that I saved from last year. As it happens, I've only got 3 seeds, so I've no idea if this little plant was an F1 hybrid or not. I have no idea, but we're going to plant them anyway and see what we get. So there's them 3. I'll do the habanero in here as well, because I'll keep this one for the chilies. When you put your seeds in, keep them separate, move them apart, because when these chit, you don't want them all tangling together, because they will start to form little tiny roots. So I'll just split them up. Zimbabwe black can go in here as well. Anyway, the reason I label them, and so I know what the plants are, the only reason is so I can decide if I'm going to grow them next year, because if they don't do well, or they do exceptionally well, I actually know what is what. Right, now all you have to do is put your tissue paper back over, leave a bit sticking up there so you can lift it out, and put a little bit more of the tea in now, just a little bit. You don't need tons, just so that they're saturated with the liquid. You don't really want them floating around, obviously, because they'll float around and you won't know what's what. But that is it, that's all you need to do. Put the lid on, or put the plastic on, or whatever you've got, and put it in a warm place. Now I put these in my kitchen. I've got a nice hot spot in my kitchen, a warm place, but it's not warm 24 hours a day. It's kind of over a radiator. I've got a little I put a shelf over a radiator in the kitchen, so that shelf is literally warm. It's probably getting up towards 26, 27 degrees because it's got the radiator heat coming off it, but it will only be on for the time that the heating is on. So these do get hot, and obviously at night they cool down, and these will germinate in about 4 or 5 days for me. What will happen, the seed, you'll start seeing little tiny chicks coming on the seeds. Some take a bit longer than others, you know, some will come through, there'll always be 1 or 2 that come out straight away, and then some of the other ones may take another 3 or 4 days to start chitting. So don't discard them straight away, just leave them in. So this time tomorrow, I will take the lid off the tray and I will pour out the excess tea from the tray. I'll just pour that out like that. so that now the tissue is just moist. Now check it in about 3 to 4 to 5 days. Just peel this back and have a look at the little seeds and just see if there's any signs of them chitting. And if they have started chitting, you can either leave them or you can put them into a little module pot. Be very careful to keep your eye out for fungus and molds which can actually grow on the tissue. So you just need to be aware of that, because if a fungal growth starts on the tissue, it will very quickly spread across it and it will envelop the seeds and quite possibly kill the seeds as well. So if you do start to get a fungal growth, simply remove your tissue. If your seeds are chitted, take them out, put them onto a clean tissue or put them back on, but you don't need to put another tea solution in. You can just simply put them into a moist tissue just with ordinary water. A pair of tweezers is handy when you're chitting seedlings, because where you've got one there, you can just so easily just move them about if they're stuck to the tissue when you're peeling it back. So you can just quickly move them about and put them back to where you want them, like that. Right, what I'll do, I'll carry on with the rest of the video. And this is a little tray of cayenne peppers, my own seed again. I saved the seed last year and I put them in this tray about 10 days ago. So here in this little propagator were some cayenne pepper seeds. I just make sure it never really dries out the propagator. And this is what happens in that time. So there they are, the little cayenne pepper chitted seedlings. I'm probably only going to use 3 or 4 of these little cayenne peppers. I don't really want many more of that this year, because these cayennes are just so productive. They literally throw out hundreds of little peppers. And that is one of the little seedlings there, beautifully chitted and viable. I did change this too, so I put them in originally on the tissue with tea on it, soaked in tea. After 7 days in my spot in the kitchen, these are the cayenne pepper seeds, I can see that there will be a little tiny white shoot just poking out of the seed. And then when I can see them and I know that they're viable, I then take them out of the tea solution and I just put them onto just an ordinary tissue, a wet tissue like that. I put a few drops of water in the little thing here, propagator, keep that lid on, it just keeps them moist. And they stay in the kitchen until they get to this stage. So I'm just going to pop these on now into the little pots. And this is my clover compost, which has been sieved, so it's been sieved fine. Again, I'm putting in this little propagator. And what I will do, I won't water this from the top, because this clover compost, which I absolutely love, if you top watering it all the time, it does have a tendency to sort of form a hardish cap on the top. So it caps off. If you water it from the bottom, it doesn't tend to do that. So this clover compost is moist, nice and moist. Cayenne seedlings, be very careful not to damage the roots at all. And I'll just put him in so that the top of the little hook is just on the soil surface like that. You've got to watch these when you're pulling them off this paper, that you don't damage the root, because the root does tend to get in amongst the tissue. So you've just got to be really careful. You better breaking the tissue away with the root and then just plant the little bit of root along with the bit of tissue it's grown into. You can see that little fella there, there's his leaves. I will also, at this point now, I will take these off that heat in the kitchen, my hot spot in the kitchen. I'll just take them well away from that. They will now just sit here in the conservatory. I've just pulled that one out and I've just broken a little bit on the roof, so I won't use that. So you better just spacing your seedlings out in the tissue so that they don't start to entangle the roots. Just makes them more difficult to get apart. And you risk damaging them. Give these some water now. I'll put about an inch of water in that tray. The module out, put it in there, let it suck up some moisture when that surface darkens off, and then pop the propagator on, and then it can stay in here under the grow lights. I'm here today, it's lovely at the allotment, it's 24 degrees in the polytunnel. I'm just putting some very early peas in, really. These are Meteor. They're a kind of a dwarf pea. I'm doing them in the tunnel because it's going to be probably 2 weeks before these start to come up. By then we'll be towards the end of February. They can stay in here for probably another 2 weeks after that, into March. And then they can go outside, and if there's any chance of frost I'll put a little plastic tunnel over them to protect them. So I'm just doing 3 trays for now. I'll plant a lot more peas in 2 weeks time, some of my main crop peas. So I've just I'll fill this gutter in. There's about 2 inches of compost in the gutter, and I'm just going to scatter some fish blood and bone in this bottom section of the gutter, so that when the peas do start to put the roots in, they'll have something to feed on. Down at the bottom there, just about a handful is enough, you know, fish blood and bone. And now I'll put another layer of compost on it. Sorry, I haven't got my tripod today, forgot to bring it. So I'll put about another inch of compost on top of that. Just bed that down a little bit, and then I will put my peas in. So I'll do them sort of 2 inches apart like that, and 2 inches like that. These will be fine in the tunnel. They will take a bit longer to germinate due to the time of year, but I'll just fill that whole tray up like that, the whole gutter, and it can hang up with its friend. There's all my little peas sowed in there. Just put about 1/2 inch of compost on top of them now. These are quite deep, these gutters. They're a deep flow gutter, so there's lots and lots of room for the roots at the bottom in these gutters. A little bit of a scattering of fish blood and on top. Give them a drink. Absolutely love peas, I really do. I grow as many as I can. Last year the first crop of peas did the absolute best. They were just absolutely amazing. The second and third plantings just did not do as well. So I'm banking on the fact that that might happen again this year. I'll be putting in a full bed of peas this year to make sure I've got enough peas to freeze up for the winter. They're one of my favourite vegetables I grow. Little onions are doing well, looking happy in here. There's a second sowing of garlic there that I did a few weeks ago now, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. These are Solent White. You can just see that they are just starting to come through now and make roots. So as soon as these get a bit more root on them, I'll start putting them outside in the bed. So I've already got an awful lot of garlic in the ground at the moment, but you can never have enough garlic, can you? The rest of the onions are here. I've about 200 onions. Some suffered a bit, mostly the Elisa Craig. Just, I don't know, they just seemed to damp off when I brought them into the tunnel. The rest of the varieties have done really well. I have bought some I have bought some onion sets as well, just to hedge my bets. So they'll be going into trays in this next week now. I'll tell you what else we did. Yesterday, Sunday, which was I think the 18th, we went to Brighter Blooms, Waltonley Dale in Preston, because they were having a sort of potato day where they had lots and lots of potato varieties for sale. So we went there. I bought some Jazzy and I bought some King Edwards, because most of my potatoes I have got from last year, so I've saved my own seed from last year. I also bought these 3 blueberry bushes, which are Jersey. There's another one there called Jersey, and there's another one there called Duke. Yeah, Duke. So I do love my blueberries. I've got them outside. They are really getting the buds on now. Here they are. Little blueberry bushes in the fruit cage. So there's one, there's 2. I think these are Airy Blue, and there's another one called Blue Crop. There's a tiny one there which didn't do too well, but it is still alive. So I've got 3 more to put in my fruit cage. I'm putting 2 there and 1 on the end. Do love my blueberries. Now someone did ask me about fruit cages. This is my fruit cage here. It is really simple construction, and I'll do a little bit of a video on this for you guys in the next week, so you can put a fruit cage up. Right, let's have a look at Brighter Blooms, and I show you the amazing amount of potatoes they had for sale, and all the other stuff they had. Well, this is the unassuming looking building at Brighter Blooms, and this is where the potatoes were housed. Oh, and was there a lot of potatoes. I have never seen as many in one place at one time. I don't even know how many there was. These rows were sort of 2 and 3 deep in potatoes. And it's just absolutely bewildering. So I've took this video really. Jazzy in the background there, that's one I bought. I took this video so that when I got home I could have another look at them. I'm already growing Charlotte there at the background, and then I can do a bit of research, because I may just go back and buy some more potatoes. That back wall there was also full of potatoes in little individual, compartments. Yeah, they just went on and on and on. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch the video back when I get home and just do a bit of research on all these different varieties. I'm already growing Maris Piper as well. So I've saved all my own potato seed from last year, and I added the Jazzy, and I bought some King Edward as well, so we'll put them in. They were quite reasonable. There was about 15 or 20 potatoes in each little net, and they were average price about £3.50. They were really nice looking seed. These are the organic ones. They're 50p more. Then we come on to the onions. A lot of onion sets. Snowball, I do not recommend you grow Snowball. They are awful onions. This was the seeds. There was lots and lots of seeds for sale, little packet seeds. So I bought quite a lot of seeds actually. They were reasonable. They were £1.50 a packet. And this was the area outside. It was kind of there, a little allotment section. There's a big fruit cage there that had just every kind of fruit under the sun in it. There was some kale and sprouts growing there. And we wandered into one of the many tunnels, greenhouses, which were just loaded with sort of trees, fruit trees, bushes, shrubs, bulbs, everything. God, there was a lot of greenhouses. I'm just showing you this section because there was bulbs here, and this is where the blueberries were. There was all kinds of berries, loganberries, blueberries, berries I've never heard of. But I bought 3 blueberries because my blueberries at the allotment are sort of a later cropping one. I bought an earlier cropping one. Well, that was the tour of Brighter Blooms. And I will see you on the next video, which I'll do one on the fruit cage, and I'll also take you around the plot and show you around. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my patrons. See you soon guys. Bye for now.